Welcome to the America First podcast, where truth is spoken without fear. Welcome, everybody, back to the America First podcast. My name is Linda Barton, and I am here today with Robert Jeter, the founder of Coalition for Trump, and Nick Saklovic, the founder of Mumblit, an exciting new social media platform. Hey, Robert, you want to say hello to everybody today?
Hi, Linda. Hi, everybody. Hey, nice to talk with you there, Nick. How are you doing today?
Doing pretty good. How are you doing today?
We're pretty excited about Mumblit. So what have you done here, Nick? You started a new social media platform?
That's correct. It's actually a free speech type of social media platform that allows people to freely express themselves, talk about what topics it is that they need to talk about on any given day, and not face any persecution for those.
Is there a Mumblit jail? Because that's the first thing that came to my mind.
Well, unlike Monopoly, we don't have a jail. What happens is we have a pretty stringent format when it comes to the website. We basically hold three values as something that's a big no-no on the platform. The first one being is threatening somebody's life. Now, that's a liability issue, so we can't always help with that, and we can't kind of let it happen all the time because you're going to have people that are running rampant with it. The second one being is pornography, obviously, because nobody wants to see that kind of stuff on a daily basis. The third thing is illegal content, and that would be like software that's being provided without license, piracy, stuff like that. So those are big no-nos.
But those are common sense no-nos. You have to set a certain standard, so those are, I see no problem with those at all. Now, unfortunately, Facebook doesn't go that way. Facebook has taken it to a whole different level.
Oh, I would say it is more politically affiliated. What happens is when you become a large company and you have to kind of have your face put in front of a large number of people, you tend to migrate toward the side of things that makes you most popular. As in any business, the more people you have, the more money you can possibly make.
Well, it seems to, I mean, just to jump in there, you know, it seems to be that I mean, obviously we can't see everything that's going on Facebook on a daily basis, but it does seem to be to me that conservatives are getting a brunt of a lot of Facebook's wrath as far as, you know, blocking their posts, putting them in Facebook jail, the restrictions. I mean, it gets so bad sometimes where you literally, I mean, I've had it happen where I couldn't even post to my own wall because it said I was spamming myself. I mean, just within the last, I don't know, the last 8 months, I've probably spent over 6 months of that time in Facebook jail. So what is the real value there? You know, if you have a platform, sure, Facebook's kind of cool. It's got some cool features, and obviously there's 300 billion zillion people there, which is great. But if you can't participate, then what is the real value in that? I mean, and the thing that drives me nuts concerning the restrictions and stuff is that they don't really ever tell you what you've done or what the issue was. It's always some bland, you know, you violated community standards, or we see that your profile is doing something that we see as being suspicious, and it's like, okay, well, I'm posting a video to a page that's suspicious, okay, and then it gets on into the fact that you can take, I literally proved this, that you can take a post and you can boost it, and as long as you're paying Facebook to put that article out there, or that post, or the meme, or the video, or a sales ad, or whatever it may be, then you're good to go. But if you turn around and take that same article and you share it yourself into a group, or whatever it is, you share it into a group, even if you created the group and it's all your community, they still turn around and put you in some type of restriction. And the thing that really, you know, just not to rattle on about it, but they, you know, it's my understanding that Facebook desires you to build a community and to allow the people in the community to enjoy it. Well, it seems that you know, maybe some people in there aren't really fond of the community, even though they're in the community. They're there really just to cause problems. So they report posts, they click everything as spam, and then who, you know, how do they verify that? Because I bet if you looked on the backside of this and if you were able to see who is reporting all these things, I bet it's the same people over and over and over. They're just reporting. They just report everyone's post that is inside some of these Trump groups. And then so, because the reason I'm as an admin of these groups, we see that this post was reported and or it's flagged by Facebook, but it doesn't say who reported it. It doesn't say, now if they report it to the admin, it does. But normally they don't. That's not what's happening. What's normally going on in there is you have 40 or 50 posts a day being flagged by Facebook, and these are flagged because people have either clicked that they're spam or that it's not fun or they're not enjoying the content or something like that. And there's no way for us admins to know who is doing this. So we can't figure out who they are in there that's causing the issue. So it's really, if Facebook would give us a little bit more information as far as that's concerned, that would be probably a plus. But I guess the whole idea is that we really want people to come over and visit Mumblit. Is that not correct, Nick?
That is correct. And let me give you a tiny bit of insight into what's been going on in terms of what social media platforms are and why it is that you shouldn't be on these type of platforms. You should be somewhere where you're actually justified in feeling the way you do. What happens is a lot of these specific platforms, we're going to say Twitter, we're going to say Facebook, have gone strictly commercialized over the course of the last 2 years. And the funny thing is it coincides with the whole political process. We went through an election year that was just fervent and flourishing with all these kind of things that had political opinions, things that were affiliated with it, groups that were for and against. And it was a huge visibility thing for these political groups to say, let's advertise on social media, which also opened up the floodgates for people that were paid to go in and sabotage those type of campaigns. So what happens is when you're a high visibility company, you're always looking for the status quo, how to keep yourself just above the line so that you translate whatever is popular today into profit. So Facebook decided once they went commercialized, they went on the stock market, they became a publicly traded company. Now they have to conform to the standards that these investors want. And these are the same type of investors that politically affiliated themselves with people like Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders, a lot of the candidates that were out there. I mean, even Jeb Bush had a lot of these type of donors that were affiliated with these groups. And that's why they put themselves in the position they did to sabotage people that went against what they were saying. So because of that, it became popularized where people would go in, sabotage, based strictly on the fact that they were supporting a cause for their own benefit rather than for the benefit of the community. So when somebody says you're being banned or reported based on community standards, all they're really saying is you're being reported and banned simply because you don't agree with us or our investors.
Yes, so much for freedom of speech, huh?
Exactly. So your First Amendment right was basically big middle finger. All right, because you don't agree with what it is that generates them profit. Now, Mumblit is totally different because we're not relying on the fact that your opinion generates us profits. What we're relying on is that your opinion stirs enough activity in the community to make a difference.
That's refreshing.
It is, because you don't have to worry about some corporate conglomerate coming to you and saying, well, because you don't agree with being democratic, therefore we're going to have to throw you into a cubbyhole and put you in, the obscure side of this site just to keep us in a better light.
What I get upset about is I'm also an author, and so I have my fan page, and how Facebook will limit the amount of people that are following that page from even seeing my post. Now, if I boost it like you said, they promise to show it to a whole bunch more. But
Correct.
That's not the issue. That's not the issue. These people followed me. They should be able to see what I post.
Correct. And the algorithms that are presented by these companies are strictly for that. They're based on the limiting factor so that you have to feed in just to get recognized. You have to kind of put in the money to make it visible enough to actually benefit you. And Mumblit doesn't do that. Mumblit gives you options to create visibility, but we don't control algorithms that prevent these posts from being seen by regular people, by groups, by people that like your page. I believe that any content that somebody produces based on their opinion, based on their belief, should be visible to everybody who wants to see it.
Well, another complaint that I have is, Lord forbid if your post has a link to it that takes it outside of Facebook, because they will cut that practically down to nothing, the amount of people that will see it. A lot of us now, like I said, I'm an author, and if I want to post about one of my books, I won't even have the link to the buying place for the book in the post itself. I'll put it down in the first comment, because their algorithm is set that if you post something that has a link that takes it elsewhere, they'll show it to a lot less people also, because they don't want you to leave Facebook.
Correct. That is what we call API forcing. Basically means an API is a piece of programming code that allows people to utilize certain features on the website that is utilizing that content so that it is more interactive. Okay, Facebook API has changed over the course of the past year and a half to limit those kind of things because they feel the more time that you spend on Facebook, the more time you're going to spend buying their products, checking out their ads. So anything that leads anywhere else, they've been severely limiting. You can also find that in your link, what they call link parsing or link scraping. Unless your page is specifically public and contains specialized tags that are on them, it will limit how that post is played, how it can be dispersed, where it can be shared or interacted with.
So now that's not going to be a problem with your site then, with Mumblit, correct?
No. You should just be able to put in your link. It should show what it is that's there without having to limit with any algorithm whether it is pushing a link off the page or whether it's keeping you there. Why? Because content is king. In this business, content is king. You have to have content, and the people producing the content on a social network are the ones that should have control over that content.
And that makes it rough because, like, even with posting for the the Trump Times and all that, I wonder, when you put that link in there and you share it with your other conservative friends, how many of them are not able to see it because of that algorithm?
Well, I would say the ratio right now in terms of the way Facebook API actually does things is maybe 1 out of every 10 people that's on your actual friends list or somebody that can see your feed is probably seeing what it is that you're posting. In some instances, if you're posting a political opinion, the algorithm finds a keyword in that. Let's just go ahead and say the word Trump, all right? You post the name Trump in there. Well, the unpopular opinion is Trump is bad.
Right.
Okay, that's what Democratic groups believe. That's what liberal groups believe. They're fighting tooth and nail to keep that off. So what they do is they post an exorbitantly large amount of anti-Trump. That stuff becomes what the algorithm is regulated by, which means that it's always looking for something that's the most popular and displaying that first. So you're going to see a lot of anti-Trump stuff. You're going to see a lot of Democratic and liberal stuff long before you ever see something supporting your conservative view. So notice this. Facebook also likes to contrast, which basically means when they're doing their advertising or doing a suggested page, they're going to put something that opposes your view above it to be seen before you look at that view.
I have noticed that. Okay.
Wow. Well, isn't that all part of enjoying your community? It
Absolutely.
seems to me that they seem to be a little overly involved with their own platform. And what I mean by that is it's my take. Let's just talk about I want to be able to do what I want to do on a platform. As far as, I want to be able to share my Trump stuff. I want to be able to interact with my friends. I want to have people interact with my posts. I want to have people like things and share things. And then also sometimes I want it to be funny. Sometimes I want it to be serious. Sometimes I want it to be mean. Sometimes I want it to be sad. Basically, I want to be able to control the emotion of what's going on on my page or in my profile or whatever. And sometimes that may include angering some people or giving counterpoints and things that some people may not be thinking about. And it seems to be to me that on Facebook most of the time you're limited to what you think they think, what they think about you. In other words, it's like, I've actually gotten to the point where it's like, well, should I post this? How many times have I posted? Where have I posted? What does it say? And by the time it's all said and done, are you not literally literally PCing yourself? You're actually trying to correct what is wrong with, or what other people would perceive as being wrong with yourself. And the thing is that just because we think different things and we have different points doesn't make us wrong or bad. It just means that we would like to discuss things a little out of the box or a little unusual. So it's really sad that Facebook wants to go down that road. But I'm very hopeful that more people come over and join us on Mumblit and have a good time there. And I mean, my goodness, when they put you in Facebook jail, guys, why not come on over to Mumblit and check us out? It's Mumblit.com.
Yeah,
I agree.
I have a lot of friends
on there, at least.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends. I call them Facebook felons that are always in jail, regardless.
Yeah.
I had one that says, I just got released. And then like a day later, oh, crud, I'm back in. I can't post to any groups. And, You know, it's just Facebook felons. That's what I call them.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm like almost ready on Mumblit to throw a little custom field on the sign-up form that asks them what their Facebook inmate number is.
There you go.
The thing I keep coming back to is about, is what I bet they have no idea what they're doing wrong. It's like, okay, what is it that you're doing wrong? Why is it that some people can post 300 times, whereas other people can post 5 times? And who makes the rules? I mean, I literally believe that there's people in the background that are watching what we're doing, and if they don't agree with what we say, they put us in Facebook jail. And I think that sucks. I mean, I literally think that Facebook's going to get caught. They're going to get caught doing this. I mean, I know that they control, the NSA or whatever, the whole security. I mean, I wouldn't doubt it if half the government is involved with Facebook, to be honest with you. I mean, we can talk about this all day, but you know as well as I do that when you put things on Facebook, or you even if you talk around your phone, I mean, you start receiving advertisements and stuff. And I mean, if that's the case, I mean, literally, you can just talk about cars. You're not even on Facebook, and the next thing you know, you get on Facebook and you're getting car ads. And it's like, okay, well, how do they really know that? I mean, so. And that's the kind of stuff that it's my understanding that Mumblit doesn't do any type of monitoring. There's no surveillance of people's profiles. There's no. Am I wrong about that, Nick? Can you tell us a little bit about?
There is none of that. There is absolutely none of that. The fact of the matter is that your profile is your profile. You figure out who you want to have access to that profile. All right, that is you. That is what you build. That is your specific identifier. Okay, that's what you do. And in terms of security on Mumblit, is you set your security settings. If you don't like somebody, block them. If somebody's offending you, and you just think that you shouldn't be seeing what it is that they're throwing back at you, block them. If you report them to us, we're going to look at you and go, well, why didn't you just block them? Okay.
I do have a question that's something. I'm sorry. Well, I do have a question. One thing that's always got my goat that Facebook does is on our private profiles, they only allow us to have 5,000 friends. Is that going to be an issue with you?
No. See, what I have the current settings is you can have up to 10 million friends.
Oh,
right?
Wow.
You can have up to 10 million friends. I think if you have over 10 million friends, you're probably doing it wrong. I see these people on Twitter with, a couple million followers. I'm like, how many people do you really have to get your information from on a daily basis? I mean, in terms of 5,000 friend limit on Facebook, it's done that way because they want you to be able to create your community using other methods that are paid. All right. In order to get a higher reach out there, 5,000 people, you can only get so much information out there to 5,000 friends. It's pretty much it. So what they do is they try to make it,
especially if they can only allow you to post 3 times a day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I have also seen people that have boosted their posts to get visibility on Facebook. They post it. The time frame runs out where the post is no longer boosted. It comes up in their memory feed, and they get banned for that.
You're kidding.
Not kidding at all.
Oh, my goodness.
So something that they may have boosted 2 years ago when they first introduced it will pop up in one of their memory posts. Somebody will report that post, and they'll get banned.
Yeah, they share it back. So, yeah, that seems to be the issue. So let's talk about some of the features on now. How does Mumblit act the same way, or is it easy to use as Facebook, or can you talk a little about that, Nick?
The intuitiveness of it is basically when you get on Mumblit, you're going to feel like you're on Facebook. All right, you can post the same way, you can interact the same way with the sidebar. All your options are there. You get your notifications the same way. When you post your links, they're there. When you share, it's there. You can do whatever you like to do. You would normally do. The fact of the matter is, we want people to have the same type of experience that they're familiar with, because you can't just keep changing something. You can't reinvent the wheel 400 times and expect somebody to sit there and understand it. All right? So these kind of things, like with Facebook, have worked. People have interacted for many years. They're used to it. They're used to the way it feels. They're used to the way things are placed. And we've done everything we could possibly do to kind of bring that experience to them without the limitations.
Okay. And that's true, because I went in and set up my account. I was able to go in there, and I put my profile picture in, and I put in my my timeline photo, and I've let some posts, slowly starting to grow. It's taking a little time, but it's like with everything. I like how you have it set up. I really do. I appreciate the fact that it's very similar to Facebook and how you work it, because like you said, nothing's worse than having to learn something over and over again for every different platform. And I think people, once they discover Mumblit, will be happy. I have a lot of conservative friends that will be thrilled to death to know they can come here and not be Facebook felons anymore. Like I said, I have so many of them go, I'm back in jail. Oh, I got out. Nope, now I'm back in, And it's ridiculous because I have friends on Facebook, I call them more like business acquaintances, that are authors also. And it's about 50-50. 50% are conservative and 50% are screaming liberals. And, I will be going down my news feed and I'll see a post. One in particular, she's really been on a rant lately. She's liberal. Anything Trump does is the end of the world. And she'll go off and just kind of hateful about it. And I just roll my eyes and go on past. Now, if that was me being like that about Hillary Clinton or somebody on the Democrat side, I can guarantee you I probably would be reported. It's really quite sad that it's not a two-way street. It's their way or the highway. And as a conservative, it is. As a conservative, I have to be really careful. I had originally, a couple of years ago, I came out, of the conservative closet, I called it, and I just really started saying what I felt about things. And as an author, I was always afraid to, because I didn't want to cut my revenue in half, because, conservatives buy my books, but so do liberals. And I came out, oh my gosh, I got the snarf beat out of me over it. So I started getting reported. I was in Facebook jail all the time. And they really went after me. It was quite brutal. So finally, to get past that, anybody that's a conservative friend, I had to make them close friends. So anytime I go in there and post anything political, I have to post it under close friends so that the other ones can't see it. And that's quite sad that I have to do that.
I'd like to touch on that just a tiny bit. When I was growing up, was kind of a lot of countryside type of environments where I grew up in. So being, living in a Democratic state, I live, in Connecticut. And if there's any group of people that are vigorously fervent about being Democratic, it's us here in the Northeast and people out on the West Coast. All right? Those are two huge things. Now, being a conservative in the middle of this type of environment is like standing in the middle of a desert looking for water.
Yeah.
All right? You don't find anything that's even remotely similar to your view ever. So, I created Mumblit based on the fact of the name. Every time somebody gets mad, you get in an argument, what do you do afterward? You walk away and you mumble under your breath. All right? And that in itself is just one process that us human beings use to kind of vent without having to make it like immediately public and get attacked for it. So that's why Mumblit was made, was originally, mumble under your breath, get it what it is that you need to get out, and now you feel better about it. But the view that's been passed along to me is, if you live in a glass house, don't throw stones.
Definitely.
Okay?
Definitely.
Now, what is it that compares to this? Well, we've basically gone into a concrete building, which was Facebook to start with, and it's been made into a glass house. So those stones have already been getting thrown for a long time. So what happened when suddenly converted? Is it really your fault for acting the same way?
Right.
Right. Lied you for.
Yeah, so we were taught to play baseball inside a concrete cave, and now they turned it into a glass cave. Everyone was wondering why the windows are getting broke.
Exactly.
I think my mom taught me something like that once about the throwing of the stones. Another thing that I wanted to ask you, Nick, is there a fee to join Mumblit, or how does someone go about joining Mumblit?
Well, how did you join Facebook, Robert?
I think I'm almost too old to remember that one.
Basically, somebody probably told you about it and said, hey, check this out. It didn't cost you anything to get into it. It didn't cost you anything to create a profile. It didn't cost you anything. If you wanted to do stuff that was extra, maybe business, stuff like that, it would have costed you a little bit. But to be on a personal level here was using it as a basis to propel yourself and your own persona and your groups and stuff. You never had to pay anything for that. So why would Mumblit ever be any different? Mumblit is free in every way, that shape and form. Free from fees, free from charging you for anything, and then free from suppression. Okay? It is a constitutional website. You want to believe in 2A, your Second Amendment right? Fine, that's great. We love discussions like that. You want to talk about your right to free speech and protest because you just happen to be liberal or Democrat? We still support that. We're not going to suppress each individual group based on what they believe in.
So now we're not going to have to worry about if a bunch of liberals come over here also because it's open to them. Like you said, free speech for all. We're not going to have to worry about them getting us sent into any type of jail then, correct?
Absolutely not. The fact of the matter is if somebody gets into your group, starts reporting you for saying certain things, that's on them. They can leave or they can just accept it.
Right. Okay, good.
That's how it works. The only thing that I'm looking for are those three things we mentioned prior in this specific conversation, things that are actually against the law. It's not against your law in any state of the United States, in most countries of the world, to sit there and say that I voted for Donald Trump. It's not against the law to say that, okay?
Unless
the fact of the matter is
Southern California. Well, that's right.
Yes, but even then, we have little portions of the website where you can sit there and vent all you want. We got a support center that you can go to and start voicing your opinion, and you may get a question mark or an exclamation as a response. That's about it.
That's good to know. So in other words, if you're a crybaby, that's your problem, not ours, basically, correct?
Well, that's correct. I mean, in this day and age, you have to be at least 13 years old to be on a website of any kind of value where any personal information is possibly exchanged or used. Therefore, if you're 13 years old and you're still crying about certain things, you might want to reevaluate the way you're living your life just a little bit before going somewhere where people point it out.
Oh, yes. Or if you're 21 and, if you mention the word Trump.
31-year-olds?
I
tell you what, they're the worst. They cry about the most stuff. But the thing is I kind of like the idea of having a bunch of crybabies over there. At least we could be able to say what we want to say to them, and get into some engaged, even if it gets heated. I mean, that kind of sounds fun to me because, on what we call fake book now, I guess, the whole fakeness of political correctness and, if you don't follow this, you're going to get, so I guess we could call it fake book, would be a fitting name for it. But I like the idea of being able to be honest with you, I've been on Mumblit, and I still have that hesitancy to say what I really want to say because I think I've been pretty much beaten and trained by Facebook that I need to not say things that may possibly hurt someone's feelings. So there is a learning curve as far as learning to relax and to be yourself. And I look forward to seeing folks just come out and join with us and actually have some fun and actually put the things up that you want. I mean, I'm wondering, what's going to be the thing that people put up the most. I'm anxious to see that. So what is it that everybody wants to put on social media that they're not allowed to put on Facebook? Maybe we should have some type of contest like that.
Well, I think the reason Facebook is so upset and the liberals involved in all of this is conservatives are able to contact each other, meet each other, and interact with each other. That gives us power, and they don't want us to have that. Look what's happened. I remember, what was it, like a year or two ago when they were whining about how Facebook was initially started for college kids and it wasn't meant for all these old fogies that are on there, meaning people like us, and they were all mad about it. Well, what it is, Facebook exploded when people like us got on there. And we started interacting with each other, and we started talking and sharing ideas. And now the liberal side is upset because that can of worms is open, and it will never be closed down again because we're not going to be quiet. We finally have a voice, and we've finally been able to talk, and they're not happy about it.
You can actually compare it. Compare it to like the old 1920s, 1930s, even up to the 1960s and 1970s. I mean, it was all about civil obedience and not saying what it is in public you really wanted to say. And then all of a sudden you get access to this piece of equipment where you can be whatever it is you want to be. Obviously, you're going to take that moment to just let everybody know how you really feel. And a lot of times people use it as an anonymous way to just get things out. But that freedom that was given to them has been taken away. And they're wondering why they're struggling to try to get that back. So that's why I've taken my opportunity to say, let's move forward. Let's find a platform that actually makes that happen.
Well, what's good about this platform that you've started with Mumblit is I would gather to guess when true conservatives find out about it, which they will because people like Robert and I will be shouting it from the rafters, when they find out that there's an alternative place where we can go and speak freely, without worrying about becoming Facebook felons and everything. Facebook is going to notice a mass exodus. I mean, look what happened with the football stuff when conservatives got angry. You know, the stadiums are half empty or better. Hollywood found out real fast, wait a minute, conservatives, they actually buy movie tickets. People that have poo-pooed us and treated us like we were fools found out, wait a minute, we've got pockets and we spend money, and we definitely, it hurts when they lose us. I see Mumblit having the opportunity to just absolutely kick Facebook in the shorts, to be honest with you.
And I believe so too. And, you know, keeping that kind of value is how we're just basically going to present this. You know, we find administrators and moderators. Now, their only job is to make sure that our 3 rules are adhered to. Everything else we could care less about. All right? Basically means I select any of my administrators or moderators based on the fact that they are neutral. They don't pick a side. They don't decide that, you know, just because they don't like the way you're talking to somebody that all of a sudden you're thrown off of something. No, we don't operate like that. All right? You got to remain neutral. However, we still have our own beliefs. Therefore, I mean, I've been interacting on the website with people that come on there. I talk to them. I interact with them. I friend them. I do all kinds of stuff. Why? Because they have to know how personable we are, that we're not just some huge unifying figure that's above them all trying to control what it is they're doing. Ability is what gives it, you know, credence here. I can say what I feel, not only because it's my website, but it's my voice.
And
all right?
that's good,
and everybody
you know.
has to feel that way when they get there. It's your voice. Use it.
Well, you know, and also, too, they say it's open to people of opposing opinions. So, like Robert said, it would be really nice to be able to interact with the other side without attacking each other. You know, whatever happened to just sitting down and discussing your opinions on things and learning from each other. You know, I'm sure that on some people, I'm not going to say all of them, but I'm sure on some people we can find mutual ground of agreement and work from there. Now, there's going to be
discussion has to exist.
Yeah.
I mean,
you know, but
you got to be able to talk to them without somebody coming in the middle of it right before there's progress and cutting it off.
Exactly. And that's the problem we've run into over on Facebook. And I guess Twitter's even getting like that now, from what I'm understanding, that Twitter's actually starting to remove content that they feel is not proper for Twitter. So, which is sad.
I like the idea of letting people put what they want out there. I mean, where else can you go and literally put whatever you want onto your profile and share whatever you want? I mean, whoever's listening to this today, you guys got to remember that you are now have a place you can go to, Mumblit.com, that you can put anything out that you want. I mean, basically, just don't threaten someone's life. Don't say you're going to kill yourself, and don't, you know, Anthony Weiner pictures, and we're okay.
You want to press me? Send me a bag of gummy bears. I'll be all set.
There you go. That sounds good. I just end up, I love the block feature. That's a wonderful feature. I'm glad to hear that you have that also, because there's just sometimes some people you just don't even want them in your circle of, you know, your circle of life or reality or whatever, you know, it's just,
So we've definitely recognized that, and we definitely look at it from the perspective of block them, do whatever it is you think you need to do to keep them away from you, and if they somehow just keep recurring and coming back to you, that's not okay. Okay?
Yeah.
However, if they are being, you know, a certain way verbally, that's up to you to just get rid of that.
I'm hoping that Mumblit won't attract that type of individual, you know, that there'll be more level-headed people that come over to your platform and make it a much more enjoyable place to be. That would be wonderful. I'm excited to watch it grow. I'm excited to, you know, to get my friends list up, and I'm going to start telling all my friends that are conservatives on Facebook where to come. Kind of wanted to wait until you had some of your little growing pains out when you were designing the site, but I think it's looking great now. Like I said, I was able to get on here, and so it looks great now. Very welcoming, very warming, you know, feeling when you're here, easy to maneuver around. I probably will be setting up a group for authors so I can get all my conservative author friends over here, and we'll just start having fun over here and leaving Facebook to themselves.
Now, the one feature that we've added that Facebook currently doesn't have, and it's probably something that you'll utilize pretty well, is we have our own article system that's on there that allows you to compose, create, just like you would on like a WordPress blog. However, for your own area. So What happens is if you create a group, you can create articles based on that group. You can create articles based on pages or even your own personal articles, and they are, formatted to look just like news articles you see on any website. So if somebody doesn't feel like they want to go out and get like hosting or try to create their own page and they want to use everything just centralized where it is, they have that capability.
Oh, wow.
So exactly. So what we're trying to make it easy to the point where you don't have to do 400 different things to achieve what you should be able to do with one button.
We should let everybody know out there, if you're listening to this, tell some friends about Mumblit. Let's gather some folks up and go over and check it out. See, Nick, is there any way people can reach out to the administrators of Mumblit, or if they're having any troubles, where do they go if someone's not understanding how to use particular features? Or let's say, is there any place for them to get into contact with like help and support? Because as we know, Facebook has no customer service. Does Mumblit have any type of customer service that can help them with say setting up an account or anything like that?
Absolutely. We do use a ticketing system for more non-pressing issues, like let's say you want something done 3 weeks from now. We could do a ticketing system so we can remind ourselves. However, we do have live support, which basically means we have it on the website on Mumblit.com. We also have it on Facebook because we understand that you may be coming from Facebook to the site and you might want a little help in doing that. So we utilize what you do know, which would be Facebook, and get you transported over there. We also use Twitter. We also have a email address that you can use, which is support@mumblit.com. Our time frame for answering are not days. We literally answer these things when we see them, which is usually within an hour or two on busy days, and most of the time it's almost instantaneous.
Wow, that's great.
Yes,
that's great.
That's why I've been putting together such a good crew of people that understand that these are the problems that we're gonna kind of move with people that are transferring from one platform to another, and we have to give them kind of inferences, which are basically examples of what they're familiar with. So if they're familiar with Facebook, we go ahead and we explain everything in kind of reference Facebook so that they can understand it and say, oh, gee, it's in the same spot. I don't have to worry about it. Or if they're having issues logging in, I mean, we have very comprehensive back end on the system, very good at taking care of things when they come along. We have bug fixes. We have things that we even have a group that we have on there, which is the Mumblit Updates official group, that you can just hit the like button on it, and in your regular feed, you see all the changes that happen on the site in real time. We go ahead and explain it for you so that you're not sitting there going, well, now I just discovered this. When did this get here?
Okay, that's a good feature then. I'll have to go in there and like that one.
Yeah, because everybody knows on Facebook there's tons of changes and then you're like, well, how does it's like they don't tell you anything about it. There's nowhere to find any type of customer service. Yeah, I wonder if I don't think there's any other business in the world that has zero customer service that serves 3 billion customers. I mean, it's like they absolutely have. I mean, how in that world did we get into a situation to where we are participating in a experiment, let's say, to where we literally don't have any idea what the rules are, what they see as being community standards, and then expect to have any real good fun there, to have anything that's really meaningful. Now, I'm not going to just go. I mean, Facebook has obviously brought a lot of things to the table, and there's obviously a reason why that many people use the platform. But I think as people start to discover Mumblit, they're going to find out that, just because there's not 3 billion people there doesn't mean that they can't really have a lot of fun with a lot of wonderful people. And then also you can literally be yourself. I like that we can be free to express ourselves and not have to concerned about oh yeah, Snowflake got her feelings hurt, and then we all have to spend the next month in Facebook jail or whatever. So
yeah. Yesterday I made a comment about the fires in Southern California, and as a former Californian, I lived through the fires. I've lived through the floods. I've lived through the mudslides. I've lived through the earthquakes. I mean, the whole gamut when I was out in California. And the only thing that I said was the people of California need to be upset with their leaders because they are the ones that decided not to keep the underbrush in control. And that's always been a problem out there. You get all this underbrush, it gets all dry, and then when it's fire season, the high winds of Santa Ana's and everything, you get these terrible fires. Oh, my gosh. I had one person get on there and say, you're trying to blame it on the innocent people losing their houses and blah, blah. I mean, she just went off on me like a crazy person. And I said, I never said it was the people's fault. I said it was the people they elect that has let them down. And I thought,
but nobody wanted to hear that. So.
No, I said, I'm really surprised I didn't get up this morning and find myself in Facebook jail.
What I guess people should understand is that I could say that I am a conservative and that I am a Republican and I do vote for who I vote for, but I'm not a monster.
Right.
I'm not somebody who wishes badly on people just because I don't agree with them.
Mm-mm.
So when I see this kind of stuff happening out in L.A. and things like that, I take it upon myself to give back to that type of stuff. I mean, I have made a lot of donations so far, whether it be food, monetary, things like that, to the cause out there in Los Angeles to ensure that people are either finding places to shelter or, they're not coming back to nothing. That's the point I'm trying to make here is a lot of times, we're given the wrong marquee, the wrong type of thing, wrong face to things based on what people think we believe, and we're just not a bunch of monsters. It's just we help just like anybody else. We're all human. So at the end of the day, you got to be compassionate about this type of stuff.
I appreciate Nick coming on today. Nick, do you got anything you want to close with as far as Mumblit's concerned, or?
Well, we certainly hope we see you there. Post your opinion. Let us know what we're doing right or wrong. I'm pretty much opening a floor there because I would love to laugh at some of the stuff I hear. The fact of the matter is that you got to understand we have opened this site simply for you to utilize. Do with it as you wish to do. Break the site. Try to break the site on me. I need to know, if there's something we got to fix, if something's got to be changed a bit. I'm welcoming all this for everybody to come in and just say, this is why we'll stay here. It takes something else to stay there. Let me know.
Now, I do have a question.
Right.
Robert had explained it to me. Maybe you can explain it to me so I could totally understand it. When I had made a post earlier, I put a link to the Trump Times for an article that I had written, and it didn't do the preview picture, information and stuff. What did I do wrong on that when I put that link in the post?
Well, what you did wrong was you didn't hit the space bar after you did the link. Now, the space bar is basically like a trigger to allow that post to scrape it for our API, which is basically a script that looks for the information to do the link post to initiate. What makes it different than what Facebook does is Facebook uses their specific API, which is based on their own tag, okay? They have their own tags. They have their own information that they scrape. They don't use general information from the website.
Oh,
so what happens is, for us to actually have that initiated, you just need to press the space.
Okay, so if I go in there and I deleted the original post and redid it, I'm going to do that right now.
And you hit the space bar?
It should do it then, huh?
Yeah, because when you hit the space bar on that, the preview will populate based off the information that's on that site.
Okay, I'm doing it now. Folks, this is so exciting. You have to come over and join Mumblit, I tell you. And if you come over, look me up, Linda Barton. We can meet friends here. Okay, I just hit the space. Now, it won't show it until, oh, there it is. It's pulling up. Yay!
So now you can delete the link just like you do on Facebook, and that preview will still be there, just like it does.
Yeah, so that when you post, it'll post right up.
Okay, I'm hitting post. Let's see, I didn't take them. Okay. All right, okay, I went ahead and left the link there. I wasn't worried about it, but cool. Yay! Okay, folks, you got to come over here. This is going to be fun.
Well, it was good talking with you guys today. Linda, do you got anything else that we should go through on Mumblit here? Or Nick, you got anything else that you want to discuss today?
Actually, I just want to give them the URL because sometimes people tend to misspell, especially on the internet. I know how fingers get flying. So the actual address for the website is www.mumblit.com.
Well, thank you so much, Nick. I appreciated all this information. I'm really excited about your new site, and I'm going to invite all my friends to come over, and that way we can just kind of tell Facebook, thank you for your time, but we're moving on to better things. It'll be nice not to have to worry about being thrown in Facebook jail anymore. I'm excited about that prospect.
I don't like for all those people throw a giant ban button on their back. I mean, that's just not who we are.
Yeah, for all those people that are in Facebook jail, it's no time like the present to come on over and join Mumblit.
Sounds like fun.
Excellent.
All right. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. You have a great day.
You too. Goodbye, folks.